I keep telling myself I'm overreacting, that it's fine, that the cameras are enough, that the locks mean something. But I can't stop checking them. Every door, every feed, every sound. I still think I'd hear Milo if anything was wrong. Right, Milo's gone. He told me it wasn't my house. We live in one of those perfect neighborhoods. Curved streets, trimmed hedges, the smell of sprinklers on Saturday mornings. 4 bedrooms up, finished basement down. The kind of house that makes your parents proud. A dream, I guess. It started with the kids wanting to build a fort. Rainy Saturday. They dragged the big cardboard blocks out of the closet, the ones painted to look like bricks. Sheets, chairs, chip clips, Christmas twinkle lights. They built walls, tunnels, little windows. I stood there watching them, and for a minute I was back in my old childhood, hiding under a blanket with a flashlight. It was nice. Normal. Then they started bringing more in, stuffed animals from the 3rd floor. Every single one. Blankets, pillows, old toys, even my track jacket from high school. I laughed when I saw it down there. They'd hauled half the house into that basement, but they were happy, and for once they weren't fighting. My wife and I could actually have a quiet evening upstairs. It felt good. Milo had died a few weeks before. The house had been too quiet since. You don't realize how much noise a dog makes until it's gone. The clicks of his nails, the sighs when the furnace came on. Now it was just air and hums and distant laughter from the basement. The next morning, I noticed one of the folding chairs had moved. Probably nothing, kids messing around. That's what I thought. They started spending every night down there, TV on inside the fort, bowls of popcorn, the light from the screen glowing through the blankets. It was the calmest our house had ever been. A few days later, the fort got bigger. They called it the den. Extra sheets, more lights, tunnels made of boxes. I joke that they'd be needing a building permit soon. But then I saw something that stuck with me. All the stuffed animals were lined up by height, facing the TV, perfectly spaced like soldiers in a formation. My kids don't line anything up or do anything like this. They leave chaos. I figured maybe my daughter was just being tidy. Then my old track jacket was draped over a chair, arms crossed like someone was wearing it. The sleeves tucked just right. I snapped a photo to tease them later. Didn't want to ruin their fun. One night my wife noticed the twinkle lights were off. She asked the kids if they had unplugged them. My son said, "We don't touch those. He does." I asked, "He who?" They just giggled and shrugged. Kids being weird. There was a smell too. Not mildew, more like wintergreen, like a cheap deodorant. Told myself it was the jacket. It was a Thursday morning when I saw him. Wife at work, kids at school. I was home in the basement emptying the dehumidifier, trying to fix a toilet that wouldn't stop running. As I walked down, the air was cool and still. The hum of the dehumidifier was steady. I passed the fort, half folded in shadows, and I leaned down to move a blanket out of the walkway. And someone was sleeping in there. A man on his side, his back to me, breathing slowly. He was wearing my track jacket, zipped to his chin, work boots off to his side, socks gray at the heel, folded pocket knife beside him. A dented metal thermos, the stuffed bear tucked under his arm like a pillow. I froze. Everything in me went quiet. I whispered, "Hey." He didn't startle. He just rolled onto his back and looked at me. He looked normal. Mid-30s maybe, clean-shaven. But the calm in his face, it wasn't right. He smiled too long. Then he said, "They finally went to school." I told him to get out, that I was calling the police. He stood, Slowly, like he was in his own living room, he smoothed the jacket down his arms. "I didn't touch your upstairs," he said, like he was proud of himself. Then he looked at the fort and said, "Don't break it. It's theirs." I said, "My kids." He looked at me and smiled. "Mine too." He folded the blankets, lined up the stuffed animals by height, turned one slightly so it faced the opening, like a guard. Then he picked up his thermos and walked past me. Not a hurry in him. When I reached the stairs, the front door was cracked open. He had gone out. He left my jacket folded on the chair. The police came. They looked everywhere. Garage, side gate, basement windows. No signs of forced entry. They said maybe a contractor saw the garage open, maybe a drifter passing through. They were polite, but I could see it in their faces. Big house, safe street, nervous guy home alone. I heard myself explaining how calm the man was, how certain, how we talked about the fort like it was his. They nodded, took notes. That was it. I didn't tell the kids. I washed the blankets. My daughter said her bear smelled like mint now. I told her maybe it was the detergent. We changed the locks, smart locks, cameras, sensors on the doors. We set one in the basement, one on the side gate. I told myself it was done. It should have been done. That night I couldn't sleep. Without Milo, every sound was strange. Pipes, fridge, little pops in the drywall. I checked the camera app again and again. All clear. When I reviewed the footage the next morning at 3:12 a.m., one of the Twinkle lights flickered on and then off. Maybe it was just the video. I don't know. No movement detected. By the second night, the new deadbolts felt like theater. I made rules. No more playing in the fort. No more toys from upstairs. They complained, said I was ruining it. I told them it was dusty down there. I told them, I don't know. I couldn't say what I'd seen. But the words kept replying from the man. It's theirs. And mine too. I kept wondering what he meant. The kids, the house, us. Every noise started sounding like him. The water pipes clanking, a jaw clicking, the dehumidifier relay, a throat clearing, the washing machine winding down, a breath. I know what each sound is. Knowing doesn't help. One morning, I found the kids' old baby quilt folded perfectly inside the fort. Not just folded, tucked the way my mother used to do it. They swore they hadn't touched it. I almost asked my wife if she was playing a joke, but stopped halfway through the sentence. She's been watching me. I can tell. She asked if I was okay. Told her it was work stress. She said we should get another dog. I said maybe later. I can't imagine another heartbeat in this house right now. I keep adding cameras. I named them like rooms. Porch, garage, basement. I scroll through them like a nervous tick. Of course, there's nothing. Always nothing. Last week, the phone rang from a local number. A man's voice said, "Is this the Whitfield house?" I asked who was calling. He hung up. No name, no trace. I didn't tell anyone. I started keeping the basement door closed. Locked it sometimes. Told the kids it was to keep the heat in. At night, the door swells from humidity. The latch sticks. It sounds like breathing behind it. One afternoon, I came home and the mudroom door was unlocked. I know I locked it. I know I did. I set little tape tabs over the edges of doors just to see if they'd move overnight. They didn't. At least not yet. 2 nights ago, I found one of the cardboard blocks from the fort sitting on the top landing outside the kids' rooms, perfectly centered. None of them admitted moving it. I carried it back downstairs like it might explode. The fort sheet was opening, facing the stairs. It aimed right at whoever comes down. He told me it wasn't my house. I asked the air. To no one. Whose is it then? The dehumidifier clicked. That's all. I locked the basement door from the outside now. The police never found him. No fingerprints. Nothing. I keep the stuffed animals lined up the way he left them, so I'll know if they change. The kids still ask if they can rebuild the fort. I say no, because I said so. They look at me different now, like they see cracks. My wife doesn't press. She sits close at night, pretends to watch TV while I check the cameras. She says, "Stay." I can't. This morning, the track jacket was folded on the basement chair again, sleeves tucked under. Not my fold. I didn't ask. I boxed it up, taped it shut, and put it in the garage. Every night I walk the house. Garage door, sliding glass, basement lock. I say it out loud. I think the camera hears me. If something happens, at least they'll know I did everything right. Before bed, I went downstairs one last time, stood at the fort. The sheets breathed with the air vent. I said we're done. I tore down the Twinkle light, folded the sheets, left the stuffed bear sitting in the middle, facing the opening, turned out the light, locked the door, turned the deadbolt. Later, when the house was still, I heard the water hammer in the basement, slow, like something building pressure and then letting go. I know it's the pipes. I know. I think I understand why he picked this house. We brought it all down there. We built the den. We filled it with everything that mattered. We made it feel like home. We invited it in. I won't break it. It isn't my house.